Oh, John, thank God.
Williams, what the hell are you doing here?
Myers. Is he dead?
Myers has zero emotion. He has no motives. If he sees, he kills.
Tell the town to lock their doors. No one in, no one out.
Hello, I'm John Waters, and I'm supposed to announce there is no smoking in this theater, which I think is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard of in my life. How can anyone sit through a length of a film, and especially a European film, and not have a cigarette? But don't you wish you had one right now? And I'm telling you that smoke anyway. It gives ushers jobs, and if people didn't smoke, there would be no employment for the youth of today. So once again, no smoking in this theater.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Monday to you. It is July 15th, 2024. This is Meach's Musings. I am, of course, Jeff Meacham. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend watching the various goings-on in the world of wrestling and of outside of wrestling, which we'll get into here in a moment. Shout out right off the top, of course, to Eddie Burton with his weekly $4.99 or $5 super chat, or I guess a super sticker because there is no attachment to it. So thank you, Eddie, for that. Much appreciated. Josh, I'm going to muse about something I don't usually muse about on my show, so we'll get there momentarily. Matthew says today's 5th anniversary of the birth of the Fiend. What do the Wyatt Six have in store or planning for tonight? Kubi likes a bliss tonight. How dead are living down? Oh, they're dead. They're beyond dead. They're in trouble. Walter's here. Good to see Walter. And of course, the ever-present custody of Dominic meme is out there, more prevalent than ever. So we are going to get to the shills. That's going to be a thing, without a doubt. As we do on a Monday, we've got a lot to promote, actually. We've got something every day this week for you, sometimes 2-a-days. It's like summer football up in here. We got 2-a-days for you throughout the course of the week. And then, of course, we'll talk about next week as we wrap up July and all the things. But I did want to take a deep dive today, if I may be permitted. You know, my name is on the marquee, so I'm going to go ahead and give myself the authorization to do that. And talk about what happened back on Friday. Was it Friday or Saturday? God, I don't remember. Whatever day it was. About what happened out in Pennsylvania during a rally for former U.S. President, WWE Hall of Famer, and presidential candidate for this year, Donald J. Trump. I've not been, it was Saturday, thank you. So I've not been one to be quiet about my feelings about the former president. Matter of fact, the complete opposite, as a matter of fact. Mario, good to see you on Instagram, as well as Angie and CGO6. So good to see everybody watching on Instagram. Thank you for watching. The reason you're watching Instagram, by the way, and not the usual Twitter, is because they are now requiring you to be a premium subscriber on Twitter to live stream. So once again, the Muskie Man has decided to screw up our lives. So I'm not going to give it until I have to. So thank you again for watching on Instagram. You can only watch on Instagram during the live show because I have not learned yet how to archive old streams. So if somebody can teach me how to do that in the off time, that'd be great. Anyway, regarding former President Trump and I guess current candidate, like I said, I've never been quiet about my feelings regarding the way that we have been allowed to see that he conducts his life, his business, however you want to phrase it. But there was such a divide this weekend regarding what happened at this rally and the fact that he was shot at and his reaction to it in the moment, the fact that he was out golfing the next day, the fact that the shooter was a registered Republican who apparently voted for him both times he has run for the highest office in the land. So there's a lot swirling around out in the ether, if you will, and him being a WWE Hall of Famer, a multiple-time WWE personality over the years, there was discussion about bringing it up on open mic night, about bringing it up on the No DQ review, and it was decided that probably not the best idea because we just tornado into it. We devolve into it. It was brought up at the very end of the No DQ review yesterday, and we did touch on it. But I just want to say again, regardless of how you feel about a candidate or somebody making a public speaking appearance or anything like that, the way to go about stating your intention of protest and rallying against somebody is not to fire on them with a gun or attempt to attack them in such a way, whether it's with, any sort of weapon. It is just ridiculous to me that I have to say that in 2024, that I have to remind people to be freaking human beings and be sane and not resort to what went down in Pennsylvania. Now, there is the conspiracy theory that it was staged and that the fact that, Trump happened to look, the only time he looked off in that direction toward the shooter was right before the shooting went down. He did not go down when first shot at, as I believe you're supposed to do when you're in that situation. His Secret Service detail took an awful long time at least for my observation, to get up there and get him down out of the line of fire. So there's so many things that are going to swirl around about this. But I personally, and this is completely my subjective opinion on the whole thing, I feel that regardless of what may or may not have happened on Saturday, regardless of how you feel about either candidate, the country as a whole is now going to be forced into being divisive. And I only say that because definitely not everybody wants the current president to be reelected. Certainly not everybody wants the former president to be reelected and put back in power either. And the unfortunate thing about that is, regardless of what you read on your ballot when you go place your, cast your vote, regardless of what you, hear from these various campaign advertisements on television or the radio or the internet or whatever, we are not a multi-party system. It's not going to be that way. We are a two-party country. And the only reason it is that way, at least in my opinion, is because not enough U.S. citizens have the chutzpah, the cojones, to vote third party, to vote independent, however you want to phrase that. And that's unfortunate because there are a lot of candidates, at least that I've seen, that I've been reading their various, policies and approaches and everything to get that party in there. I'm going to be that guy and be transparent. If I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that me voting for a Kennedy would invoke real change, I'd vote for Robert Kennedy Jr. in a heartbeat. I like his policies. I like the way he approaches his campaign is conducting themselves, and Kennedy's a royalty in this country. They have been since the days of Camelot, as far as when JFK and Jacqueline Kennedy were in the White House, and when Bobby Kennedy was running after his brother was assassinated. But again, there's not enough. And Josh, I appreciate that, and I'm glad you're making an attempt at change. It's unfortunate there's not enough of us. And the way that skews people's thinking is, oh, well, if I vote for so-and-so, it's a waste of a vote. So why bother? I'll just pick the lesser of two evils in my mind. And it's like, no, you have to go to these ballots and hope that enough people will feel like you feel, and maybe, just maybe, there will be a change. It happened in Minnesota in 1998 with the governorship. Regardless of how you feel about Jesse Ventura, that was a legitimate wow moment. Do I think it'll happen at the federal level? No, I don't. But I am voting the way I'm voting, and I can only hope that enough people will realize that there's more than just Donald Trump or Joe Biden to choose from. It's an unfortunate thing, and I did tag the wonderful shirt that Greg Sherry created about politics being a work, wrestling is real. I feel every person in this country should own that shirt and like triplicate. It is crazy how real that statement feels, particularly today. After this weekend. Yeah. Yeah, and again, that is the general feeling, Josh, as far as a vote for a third party is really a vote for so and so. I really don't know if that's the case this year, because there is so much division about voting for one of these two or the other. So maybe there's enough people that go, you know what? I'm tired of this bullshit. Maybe, just maybe, there will be a change. And you know, the other thing, as far as well, there's a couple things. First of all, on the wrestling side of things, the fact that his campaign, the campaign statement said he was taken to a local medical facility, popped me to no end, because that's exactly the type of thing WWE used to say when people were injured in kayfabe on television. I thought that was just a completely Freudian oopsie, but it was so funny. Granted, not a funny situation, whether it was staged, whatever, however you want to phrase it, but just the fact that his campaign used the phrasing local medical facility unintentionally popped me. I thought that was just a wow touch. It was classic. As far as the reality of the situation, that a innocent bystander completely was their life was taken. They were taken from their family. Going to rally behind President Trump, and it was just awful. The shooter apparently was taken down, which, if you are a conspiracy theorist, no big loss. Part of the plan. But either way, lives were lost Saturday because of this nonsensical political system we have in this country. And I think that's unfortunate. And it's not unique to this year or this campaign, right? It's all throughout history. It was, and it's just a hot mess at the end of the day. And like I said, we almost never talk about this stuff on anything on the multiverse of media, but it was such a oh shit moment in time that I felt that not addressing it would be insulting to all of you at home and all of you watching from wherever you're watching today across the multiverse of media. So I wanted to get that in. So that's my piece on it. That's unless something further develops, I'm gonna do my best to make sure that's the last time that the presidential campaign is brought up. Hopefully. So this morning we got an announcement from WWE that NXT is going to be running their No Mercy PLE in September in Denver. Shout out to my buddy Ryan Katz, going back to where it all began for him. Love Ryan, great longtime friend. Wish I could see him and hang out with him more, but he's a little busy with the E and with WWE. And then they'll be in Hershey, Pennsylvania for October for Halloween Havoc and for Raw. So that's why Big G will be good to go, because it's out in Hershey. And yes, NXT, definitely no days off for the Jeff Meacham Network, Matthew. I told the team there are 25 weekends left in 2024. Of those 25 weekends, we now only have 8. That don't have at least one wrestling watch along. Now, it's not to say that there won't be a Mike Night special on a given weekend. And not to say there won't be a UFC watch along on one of those weekends, which I know we're going to add those with Walter now covering UFC for us on the fight nights. And the World Series is in October and November, so we might have Stat Boy doing a watch along of the championship clinching game of the World Series. So yeah, it is just crazy that this Weeks Are Gonna Die tour is literally taking on a life of its own. And yes, thank you. We're going to be covering the Olympics. So yeah, literally no weekends off, it feels like, and I'm here for it. And yeah, Walter, thank you for reminding me. A moment of reflection, I guess, and a shout out to the families and friends of let's see, Dr. Ruth, Richard Simmons, Shelley Duvall, and Shannon Doherty over the last few days. They come in threes, but now it's 4, 5 if you can't. I'm a bad host. I don't remember the name. I don't have it in front of me, but the gentleman from football that played for Pittsburgh that passed away also. 5, for lack of a better term, TMZ headline deaths over the last week, plus an attempted assassination of a former president. It's been a week, folks. It's been a little crazy. So I'm glad I'm able to and Big G, we are glad to have you back around, man. It has been awesome having you back on the team and back on video with us and another DQ video. So thank you for making yourself available, brother. Jacob B. Jones, thank you, Walter. Sorry, yeah. So yeah, 5 different deaths that would be announced on TMZ. Just absolutely crazy that it's very much become like 2016 as far as the sheer volume of it. Just a little crazy. However, we at the Jeff Meach Network, Multiverse Media, do our darndest to make sure we can take you guys away from all that crap, all the sorrow, all the drama, and we're going to keep on going. Today, of course, we talked about it today, but hopefully I don't have to anymore. Tomorrow, we will be live at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific with our coverage of this week's NXT episode. Noah and Walter on the call, so be there for that. Again, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific tomorrow. Wednesday night, of course, the Greg Cherry Show, as we do each and every Wednesday. Greg is back from his hiatus, as far as I am to be understood. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I will make that correction tomorrow during NXT. Immediately, either following or concurrently with the Greg Cherry Show, we'll have our coverage of episode 250 of AEW Dynamite. That is also at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific, and that is on Wednesday night. Luck of the Draw is returning this week to the Greg Cherry brand. They'll be on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on the Greg Cherry brand, and possibly the Jeff Meach Network. I've talked to Greg about that. Because we will also be covering the Go Home show for Slammiversary as TNA presents Impact at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, with our coverage across Multiverse Media. Of course, if you watch on TNA Plus or YouTube, it's at 8:30 Eastern. So we'll be on the air with our coverage of that. Almost immediately following Impact. It won't be immediately, but we'll have Simply Predicting for Slammiversary with Noah and company at 10:30 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Pacific. Of course, Slammiversary is live on Saturday, and we'll have our coverage at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific on Saturday, July 20th. Followed, of course, by the standard Saturday shenanigan. I say standard with a tongue-in-cheek in my voice of open mic night. Next week, of course, we'll be back here Monday with Meach's Musings. Tuesday, the 23rd, Stat Boy Sports Bar scheduled to return. He'll be live at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific. And then 4 more watch-alongs next week. AEW Dynamite Blood and Guts, Ring of Honor for Dishonor, UFC 304, and Bloodsport 11 from GCW and Josh Barnett. So many cool things coming up on the horizon for the Jeff Meacham Network and our family of affiliates and all the things. So thank you everybody that watched today. Thank you everybody that's been watching. No, definitely no standards. It's completely loosey-goosey, Josh. Let's be real. So yeah, it is appreciated. We get the audience we do every week. We hope to see everybody throughout the week here with our watch-alongs and our quote-unquote usual shows, normal shows, wink, wink. But until tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific with NXT and our coverage throughout the week of all the things, I am the Meach. This has been Meach's Musings, and we will see you guys next time right here across the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media.
The Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media. for over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence, and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.